Mr. President.
Senator from Nebraska.
Thank you, Mr. President. My colleagues and I are here today to discuss the importance of unleashing American energy. Especially during a time of international turmoil, we in the United States need to ensure that we reduce our dependence on unstable foreign countries for our energy. But right now, as the senator from Texas alluded to in his comments, there is a tangled web of unnecessary regulations that's holding our nation back from an all-of-the-above energy agenda that would benefit consumers, producers, and our national security. One example of what's holding us back is outdated regulation of E15. Nebraska is an energy-producing state and has an important role in any discussion about unleashing American energy. E15 is a biofuel blend of gasoline with 15% ethanol. This critical fuel mix is proven to lower gas prices for consumers at the pump. One study found that the average price of E15 during last year's summer driving season was 16 cents less per gallon than regular unleaded gas. As any driver can tell you, after years of escalating gas prices under this administration, these savings, they add up quickly. Consumers want the lower fuel prices of E15, and retailers know it. That's why a number of retailers offering E15 has more than doubled since 2017, rising from 1,200 to 2,700. E15 boosts our domestic energy security. Our country is blessed with ample natural resources, and we should take advantage of them, including ethanol. Use of E15 unleashes American energy here at home, dealing a blow to our dependence on foreign oil. And ethanol is good for the environment. Emissions from ethanol are 46% lower than from traditional gasoline. One study found that corn ethanol contributed to a reduction of 500 million tons in emissions between 2005 and 2019. So why not make use of E15? This issue is important to my state, very important. Nebraska is the second largest producer of biofuels in the nation and generates over 2 billion gallons of renewable fuel each year. But when we look at these overly restrictive regulations, they are threatening to rob consumers of that choice. One outdated law needlessly restricts the sale of E15 during the summer months. The regulation restricting E15, it's based on a measure called the Reid Vapor Pressure, or the RVP, which measures the volatility of certain gasoline blends. The irony of this is that E15 actually has a lower RVP than E10, which is less restricted. Ultimately, this outdated law doesn't make much sense, and it harms consumers. In Nebraska, we have 24 operating ethanol plants, and they have created almost 1,500 good-paying jobs across our state. Family farmers in Nebraska use biofuels like E15 to help fuel the rest of this country. For the sake of those Nebraskans, as well as the average American at the pump, I've been leading the charge for many years to end the legal limbo that we see around E15. This month, I introduced again the Consumer and Fuel Retailer Choice Act, which would allow for the year-round nationwide sale of E15. 8 different states have made admirable strides to allow the sale of E15 in their regions. But these efforts can only result in a patchwork of uneven regulations across the country, leaving many families without access to cheaper E15. The EPA, they could and they should take emergency action to allow E15 sales this summer. But let's remember, that would only be a temporary solution. We need a permanent, nationwide solution, and that happens to be what my bill provides. The bill is the opposite of a mandate. It puts consumers in the driver's seat by providing them with the completely voluntary option to take advantage of E15 and its benefits. We've worked hard to build a very diverse, bipartisan coalition for this bill. The nation's largest oil and natural gas trade association, the American Petroleum Institute, is one of our bill's most notable supporters. It's time that Congress joins together to pass legislation that truly advances an all-of-the-above energy solution that ensures Americans access to lower-cost E15 fuel. All of my colleagues should support more choices for lower-cost fuel, especially as our country reels from high inflation. The Consumer and Fuel Retailer Choice Act provides families with the choice to purchase and with retailers the choice to sell E15. That is a major win for family farmers, for consumers at the pump, and for our American security. Thank you, Mr. President.